Welcome back, everyone, to another video. Today we're going to be talking about the Super Mario Bros. Movie. I just watched it yesterday. If you guys saw my Mandalorian reaction, I kind of talked about how I was going to see it yesterday. But regardless of that, I did enjoy myself a lot. There's a few things that I do want to talk about, but for the most part, I did really enjoy myself. At the end of this video, I will just put my actual rank, like final thoughts of the video if you want to skip to that point. Yeah, if you guys have not seen the movie, save this and come back later because there's some serious spoilers ahead. But right before we get into this, if you are new here, consider hitting that subscribe button, letting me know that you guys like the content that I am putting out for you guys. And without further ado, let's get into the review. So let's get started about the good. The biggest thing here are all the little hidden references. If you grew up on, the original Mario games and even some of the newer Mario games, there are references for everyone here. Just to dive into a few of them, I won't name them all, obviously, because there's way too many. One of the ones that really stuck out to me was there was a part, I'm not sure where exactly they were going or what was happening, but someone started up something, and the boot up sound it made was like the GameCube startup sound. And that really stuck out to me because that's not just a direct Mario game reference, that's just a Nintendo reference in general. And so I thought that was really cool that they included that in the game, or in the movie, I should say. One of the other references that they did was, so this is something I kind of wanted to talk about. So Mario and Luigi, we get to meet their whole family in this movie. And in their shop, they have an original arcade machine of Donkey Kong. And so for a long time, it's been like a rumor or like a theory that the Mario we see in the Donkey Kong game isn't the actual Mario. Like that this was just another version because it's him and the lady, and that this Mario looks a little bit different and it wouldn't make sense for how long he's lived and just all these different things. But in this movie, we almost get not a direct confirmation, but a very slight hint that that might actually be true, because Mario's father, who looks a lot like Mario, but he has distinctively different features, he's the one playing the Donkey Kong game. So, and like, it's just a very like thing that they kind of look at. And to me, that just felt like, hey, like this is him, like he's playing his own game. And to me, I don't know, maybe that was just me looking too much into it, but that's something I definitely liked and noticed about it. There were other things that I noticed as well. I think at some point Mario is even playing Kid Icarus on like his gaming console, which was really ironic to me. I remember the theater that I went to, I don't think anyone knew what Kid Icarus was, because no one, I don't think anyone really knew that that was a Nintendo game. So I thought that was really neat that they did that. Going further into the movie, there's a lot of hidden references with the power-ups and the Yoshis, and there's even one, the whole plot of the movie with what Bowser wants literally is a whole Super Mario Odyssey reference, which is really funny to me. So if you liked Super Mario Odyssey, or you're someone who, was more of a classic fan, there are hidden references all throughout this game, or movie, for you. Moving into a different part of the movie, I want to talk about the voice acting really quick. I absolutely loved Chris Pratt as Mario. I wasn't sure if he was gonna fit the bill for me, but he absolutely did. And as much as I did love him, there was one character in this movie that I thought just killed the voice acting, and that was Princess Peach, Anna Taylor-Joy. I think that she did phenomenal. And not only did she do phenomenal, but whoever wrote the script for Peach, just fantastic. I think Peach was probably my favorite character in this movie, which is really funny considering she's usually the most annoying in the Mario games. But in this movie, she really took charge, knew what she was doing, and she was just a very likable character in the movie. Aside from that, we did get some really good voice acting from Charlie Day as Luigi. And Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong was hilarious. Like I said, I just really enjoyed all the different voice acting that they did in this movie. I thought it was great. Moving into another whole part of this movie, kind of what I was talking about before, but not exactly, the animation. So one of my biggest concerns before this movie was even announced was, how is the game's gonna translate to animation, especially with Illumination? And I kind of trusted it because I know Illumination is usually pretty good at laying out and conveying an idea of, you know, something from real life to animation, because they have that really simple look down that it's hard to mistake, like to mistake what's going on actually. And I had no problem understanding what any of the things were in this movie, between the Magic Koopa and the regular Koopas and the Mario Karts and just everything. Everything was spot on, and it looked like it was from the game, and I absolutely loved that. And not only did it look like it was from the game, but it also had like, it looked really polished, and everything just kind of made it feel more alive than the games too. So I think that was something really smart that they did for this game, or movie. I keep calling it a game, but yeah, something really smart that they did for the movie. So next up, I want to talk about kind of a different aspect of this movie, which was like the parkour and the fighting and like just like the whole power-up thing, because that was a big part of this movie. So they introduced you right from the get-go in the Mushroom Kingdom that there are like power-ups, just like the game. And they like really stick with that theme of power-ups. I mean, they have like the cat thing from Super Mario 3D World. They have the regular mushroom, the mini mushroom, just so many different power-ups. Fire Flower, Ice Flower, Tanuki Suit, you name it. And with that, they kind of like beat, like, I don't want to say they wouldn't win otherwise, but like that's kind of the way, that's the way that Mario wins his challenge with Donkey Kong. It's the way that they defeat Bowser with the invincibility star. They clearly use the power-ups throughout the whole movie to help them. And then kind of going back to what I was saying with the parkour thing, there's like 2 or 3 scenes where like it's just flat out like them like doing these little parkour moments and running and like jumping on people, and it worked out really well, at least for me, because it made it feel like you were running through an actual level of the Mario games. The one in particular that really stood out to me was at the very, very beginning of the movie. There's one with Mario and Luigi in New York City where it's like a 2D thing, but it's made to look like the original game. And there's even like this little like flagpole, and there's a castle, but it's not actually a castle. It's like a burger place that looks like a castle on the outside. And I just thought that that was really neat and a really cool way to pay homage to the original. The last good thing I do really want to say about this movie is just how much I was invested in it. I was so invested in it the whole time. The entertainment value for this movie was through the roof for me, because there was just always something going on. And you know, as much as I did love that, there's one kind of negative side to that thing, and I'm kind of gonna get into that in just a little bit here. Moving on to the mixed part of this movie. So this movie is only, I think, about an hour and 32 minutes, and that's including the credits. I wasn't crazy about that. I really wish this movie was longer. It felt like it was, I don't want to say rushed, but like they definitely could have done more. And it made me feel like a lot to be desired, because I think even the end credits scene was just the Yoshi egg, which I felt like the main Yoshi should have even just been in the main story of the game, because I just felt like he should have been. But we did get to see a herd of Yoshis, like of them running, but we didn't really get to see Yoshi himself. So I wish we would have gotten to see that, or even just a mention of Wario, or even Daisy, or anyone like that. But hopefully that'll happen in Super Mario Bros. 2. As far as the bad goes, I don't really think that there was necessarily anything wrong with the film. But again, going into what I was talking about in my mixed part, I wish that the movie had a little bit of a longer runtime, and not only for exploration, but I felt like there were moments when Mario, especially Mario, needed moments to really like just let the scene breathe, and it kind of didn't happen. And I wish, because by the time we got to the end fight, like, the only reason I loved the character so much as I did is because I've grown up liking the games. And I think that that's kind of what they're counting on, is that you've played the games, because it's probably the most like popular video game of all time. And so I think that they're kind of like, I don't want to say piggybacking on that idea, but definitely riding on the idea that like you know who Mario is and you've played a Mario video game before. So that you have that like emotional attachment to him. But even just in terms of a movie, I wish that they would have, given him a little bit more time, because he definitely deserved to have that more time. But that's really the only, I guess, not even bad thing I have to say, just kind of like thing I really wish would have happened in this movie. But all in all, I did enjoy the movie itself. Again, I gave it, I think, 4 out of 5 stars. I'll leave that ranking or what I gave it here somewhere. But just as, like I said, as far as entertainment value, I was glued to my screen. This felt like such, you can tell it was made by Illumination. And that's not a dig at Illumination, because Illumination has made great movies like Despicable Me and the Minions movies, and I think even like Secret Life of Pets, the Sing movies, yada yada yada. And they're all great movies, most of them anyway. But they all have one major thing. A lot of times they sacrifice those emotional beats for like funny moments or for the sake of moving the plot forward. And that's because they know that their target audience is our children. And they know that children have short attention spans. So of course they're going to try and keep the ideas flowing and not really trying to stick around for those big like emotional moments as like if they would if it was more of like targeted towards like a more adult and like maybe even like teen age group, even though it can be enjoyed, because like I said, I enjoyed this movie for what it was. So I guess that's just kind of like how I felt about the movie overall. I really enjoyed it, but wish we could have gotten a little bit more. But I'm pretty sure that they're making a sequel to this movie, so hopefully we'll get to see all of that in the sequel. Thank you guys so much for watching, and stay tuned for more movie reviews coming your way. Peace, everyone.